Why do thousands of machines around the world compete every second to solve extremely difficult mathematical puzzles? These machines consume massive amounts of electricity. They run day and night in warehouses, data centers, and even small home setups. Some operations are so large that they resemble industrial power plants. Yet the people running them willingly pay huge energy bills just for the chance to solve one cryptographic puzzle before everyone else. What motivates this global competition? And more importantly, how does this strange digital race protect a financial network worth hundreds of billions of dollars? The answer lies in something deeper than just technology. It lies in economics and game theory. Bitcoin mining is not just about computers verifying transactions. It is a carefully designed incentive system where participants are rewarded for behaving honestly and punished for cheating. Understanding this system reveals one of the most fascinating ideas in modern finance and computer science: a network that secures itself using incentives. In this video, we'll break down exactly how Bitcoin mining works, why miners compete, and how economic incentives keep the entire system running. At its core, Bitcoin is a decentralized financial network. Unlike traditional banking systems, there is no central authority approving transactions. There is no central server storing balances. Instead, Bitcoin operates on a distributed ledger known as the blockchain. This ledger records every transaction ever made on the network. But if no central authority controls Bitcoin, a natural question arises. Who verifies that transactions are legitimate? That role belongs to miners. Bitcoin miners are participants who use specialized computers to verify transactions and add them to the blockchain. What Bitcoin mining actually does. When someone sends Bitcoin to another person, that transaction doesn't instantly become permanent. Instead, it enters a waiting area called the mempool, where unconfirmed transactions are stored. Miners collect these transactions and group them together into something called a block. Each block contains .a list of transactions, .a reference to the previous block, .a timestamp. A cryptographic puzzle. To add a block to the blockchain, miners must solve this puzzle. The puzzle involves finding a number called a nonce that produces a hash meeting specific conditions. This process is known as proof of work. Mining rewards explained. Bitcoin mining rewards come from two main sources: block rewards. The first source is the block reward. When a miner successfully adds a block to the blockchain, the network creates new Bitcoin and awards it to that miner. This is how new Bitcoin enters circulation. When Bitcoin launched in 2009, the block reward was 50 BTC per block. However, this reward doesn't stay constant forever. This mechanism ensures that Bitcoin's supply grows slower over time. Eventually, the total supply will reach 21 million coins, and no new Bitcoin will be created. Game theory in Bitcoin. Game theory studies how rational participants behave when their decisions affect each other. Bitcoin mining is essentially a massive global game. Thousands of miners compete to solve puzzles and earn rewards. Each participant must decide how to behave. Should they follow the rules or attempt to cheat? Bitcoin's design makes honesty the most profitable strategy. Rational actors. In game theory, a rational actor is someone who seeks to maximize their own benefit. Most miners are rational actors. They want to maximize profit. And because cheating risks losing rewards, following the protocol becomes the logical strategy. Honest majority. Bitcoin assumes that most of the network's computing power is controlled by honest participants. As long as honest miners control more than 50% of the total hashing power, the network remains secure. This is often referred to as the honest majority assumption. Why cheating is expensive. Suppose a miner tries to manipulate the blockchain. To succeed, they would need to control enormous computing power and sustain it long enough to outpace the rest of the network. This would require massive hardware investments and huge electricity costs. Even if the attacker succeeded, the attack could damage trust in the network, potentially reducing the value of their own mining rewards. So the economic incentives discourage malicious behavior. The cost of mining. While mining rewards can be significant, the costs are also substantial. Mining operations require specialized hardware known as ASIC miners. These machines are designed specifically for Bitcoin's hashing algorithm and are far more powerful than ordinary computers. Large mining farms can contain thousands of these machines operating simultaneously. This is why many mining operations are located in regions with low electricity prices. Mining difficulty adjustment. One of Bitcoin's most elegant features is its difficulty adjustment mechanism. The network aims to produce one block approximately every 10 minutes. But what happens if new miners suddenly join and increase the total computing power? Blocks would be found faster. To correct this, Bitcoin automatically adjusts the difficulty of the puzzle. Every 2016 blocks, roughly every 2 weeks, the network recalculates how hard mining should be. If blocks were found too quickly, difficulty increases. If blocks were found too slowly, difficulty decreases. This adjustment keeps the system balanced regardless of how many miners participate. It ensures the Bitcoin network continues operating predictably even as global computing power changes. Attack scenarios. One commonly discussed threat to Bitcoin is the 51% attack. This occurs when a single entity controls more than half of the network's total hashing power. With this majority control, the attacker could potentially reverse recent transactions, double spend coins, temporarily prevent new transactions from confirming. However, executing such an attack is extremely difficult. The Bitcoin network's total computing power is enormous. Acquiring enough hardware and electricity to control over half of the network would cost billions of dollars. And even if the attack succeeded, it would likely damage trust in the network, reducing the value of the attacker's own holdings. Mining centralization debate. Despite Bitcoin's decentralized design, some critics argue that mining is becoming more centralized. Large mining companies and mining pools control significant portions of the network's hashing power. Mining pools allow individual miners to combine resources and share rewards more consistently. Instead of waiting months to solve a block alone, miners receive smaller but more regular payouts. However, this pooling of resources raises concerns. If too much power concentrates in a few pools, it could theoretically increase the risk of coordinated attacks. To counter this, many miners distribute their hashing power across different pools. Additionally, anyone with mining hardware can choose which pool to join, allowing participants to shift power away from overly dominant pools. So while centralization concerns exist, the system still maintains a high degree of global distribution. Bitcoin mining may appear complex, but its core idea is surprisingly simple. It is an economic system designed to reward honest behavior. Miners compete to verify transactions and add blocks to the blockchain. In return, they receive rewards. Mining rewards and transaction fees provide financial motivation. And the entire system operates without a central authority. Instead of trusting institutions, Bitcoin relies on incentives. A global network of rational participants secures the system simply by pursuing their own economic interests. This combination of cryptography, economics, and game theory is what makes Bitcoin one of the most fascinating technological experiments of the modern era. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Bitcoin mining and want to learn more about how cryptocurrencies actually work, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We break down complex crypto concepts into clear educational explanations designed for beginners and curious learners alike. And if there's a crypto topic you'd like to see explored in a future video, feel free to share it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.